हेलो गाइस। आई होप आवाज़ आ रही हो आपको।
ठीक है, हम लाइव है। ओके, चैट एक बार कंफर्म कर दीजिए अगर हम लाइव है, आपको आवाज आ रही है प्रॉपर। लाइक ओके, लेट मी स्पीक इन इंग्लिश। हे चैट, प्लीज कंफर्म once like we are live and hope you are getting a proper audio of mine. Okay. uh, thanks Hasmin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Hasmin bhai. अरे आप हो। अरे थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग। इनकी भी एक यूट्यूब चैनल है, प्लीज जाके चेकआउट कीजिए। ओके, थोड़ी देर वेट, let's wait for a few minutes and then we will start. Okay, so before going I'll start coding. Like in today's stream I'll be doing no API call, and meanwhile I will try to handle the error cases, uh, or like when we make an API call, we face a API error, like we do face errors, like HTTP errors, or if we face any kind of error like that is coming from the API, so how we should tackle that thing. So we will make an API call and also will try to handle the errors too. Okay, so right now I have a one a dummy project, or you can say the boilerplate project with me. It's kind of a pet project of mine. If you want to look at in this project, so you can check out my GitHub repository of for Flutter MobX boilerplate. So it contains some boilerplate code for MobX, and it also has the same you know uh, things that I use for mostly in my live projects. Not exactly, not the similar, but I try to use as many things as I can in in this project. Okay, so currently like this project is already structured, and I'm just will walk through you for making an API call and managing the errors. And for the state management, as of now, I'm going to use MobX. Uh, you can try anything, a provider or block as per your preference. You just have to follow that guidelines. But you can use my networking layer, or like the way I'm going to implement right now to call your stuff. So as you can see, I already have one API, and I'm doing a one I'm doing a one get call over here, and it's a Marvel fandom API. I'm getting some articles from over here. Okay, so using the HTTP client, I'm calling a get method, and I'm already created a Pojo for it. Let me it's not a Pojo, we can say that a Podo instead. Okay, let me so I'm using the quick what's the name of the website? There is a two website, and that allows you to create a Podo or a Pojo JSON that allow you to instantly parse your JSON into a model. So there is a website called app.quickttype.io. So you can use that. You can use JSON serializable package, and also there is one more site that I was using earlier. That name was Javier, something like that. It's on GitHub probably. So if you search JSON to Dart, you will find your answer on Google itself. So you can check that out anytime. Okay, so my API layer has one service class. It has a HTTP client that is I'm getting from the it's a part of my repository. Okay, sorry. It has articles and HTTP client, and here it is my HTTP client. Okay, I'm going to create this HTTP client, not whole app HTTP client, but I'm going to create a similar thing. Like you can see here, I'm managing HTTP socket exception, HTTP exception, format exception, and other stuff over here. So I'm not going to demonstrate about DO or chopper package as of now. It's purely going to use HTTP package only. So yeah, so let's just get started for using this. This is a very old project, and I haven't recently updated it, so it might don't work properly. So currently what I'm going to do, I'm just let me just delete this repository section, HTTP client, and custom exception class. It's my custom exception class. It's just a class, or you can say that a model class. I'm just going to delete it. I'm not going to use probably anything over here. Like I'm just going to delete. Oh, I need this API string, so I will save it in my notes. There are plenty of free API available, open source APIs available. So you can, using that you can create some application that can help you. I'm not using taste. We can talk about taste later on for sure. Okay, so it's error free, and so you can ignore these other packages. This is the way I actually, structure my, my packages and my classes and my files. You can say that the model classes are over here. This is my model class for the article that I will get from the response. Here are the modules. You can say that a screens that has a home module that currently does nothing. It has only a container. Onboarding module has a login and splash. So if you want to see like how you can implement login using a MobX, so you can check it out. I have a store class available separately. If you want to put it inside your feature, like inside your login, you can do so. I'm currently dividing into the separate package called store, and I'm dividing them again as feature wise, login and articles and theme and so on. So our article store is again empty, and there's a utility method for the extension methods, for my preferences and util classes, like that I'm probably going to use. Value classes that contains the assets things, like if you want to pass the assets, so you can follow this kind of stuff, like IC for the icon and IMG for the image, and same goes for the PNGs. So we are dividing SVGs and PNGs separately. Again, base colors will be in the different color class like this. Then some constant keywords like your API endpoint, your API base URL or any kind of constants. Then I have import file over here. So in some files you might have a lot of imports. You always have a lot of imports in your file. Yeah, so it always sync down like this, but sometimes it's you don't like it, just the number of lines it has. So instead of the repetitive imports, you can put it in the separate file, and like creating a package, you used to export these files over these packages over here. So you can export them and you use that these imports directly. So these all the packages will be available everywhere. Then routes is for the route system. It has initial, login, and home route. I think the navigation 2.0 is coming soon, so there will be a major or some like breaking changes for Flutter. I don't know. Uh, let's see how they are going to implement it. And then there are things, if you are not going to implement localization or internationalization, so but still try to keep your strings in a separate file in a separate class as a constant, so as soon as you want to implement localization, you can just get your all of your strings from a single file, and you don't have to find in your every widgets or and in your every files. Then there is a widget package for my custom widgets, so only has a custom text field. Then my main, this is my route generator. Okay, and this is my main. So as I told you, I'm going to use MobX for the state management in this live stream, and we will use HTTP package only. Okay, so I'm going to fetch a list of data. So using which so for that we will firstly need a list view. So we will going to implement list view first. List view dot builder. It required item builder. It has two properties called build context and index. So we don't probably don't want the build context as of now. So I'm just going to use index. You can always define a data type over here if you want. That's good practice. Even though I always miss it, but yeah. So in this thing, we are going to return a list style, and in the title, let's use tags and just some dummy text. Let's give some dummy text. Hello, and we are good to go. I think our list view should be visible. Yeah, we got our list view, static list view that does nothing as of now. Let me add app bar for. So our app looks some at some extent our app looks good. As my this live topic is not to create a good UI, but to to write a good code that can help you. Okay, so yeah, let's start it. So before I go ahead, I'm going to create a new package called networking or directory. You can say that. Now, sorry, I'm going to name it a network, and in this I'm just going to create one class for HTTP client. You can say that will do my all the stuff regarding HTTP things. Okay, so yeah, it has been created. Let me create it again. I don't want to add it in the git file as it is already there. So I've reverted it instead. Okay, so we got our class. Let me create a class, and here we go. Okay, so in this map over here we are going to use HTTP package. So I already got my HTTP package from the pub.dev. Like I already wrote down over here in the my pubspec.yaml file. You just have to pubcat and we're good to go. Besides of that, I'm using Flutter MobX provider for the dependency injection, like as a DI, and build runner to build my MobX code and MobX code gen that will actually create my MobX code. And over here, I'm going to firstly create one method called get. Okay, I'm not going to give a data type as of now. Before that, I'm going to import a package http dot, and I'm going to use this package. I'm going to use it as a http. It's kind of like defining a variable. Like using http, you can get all the items from this package, this class, http.dart class, that file, sorry. So you can get this using this package, and I'm going to use it dot get. Now see in this file, like it returns a future and http response. So its type is a http response. So now over here, I'm going to return it as a future. Sorry, I already pasted it. Copy it, response. Okay. So as you see, I'm getting this response type from the http package. So it automatically puts the http dot over here. If you not do this, it will throw an error. Probably yes. Okay. So it's not finding and will tell you to use with prefix, http prefix. So here we go. Now you can see over here, like why I'm doing so. Reason is like if you want to now pass your auth token and all of the stuff from a single place, so you can actually write your auth token over here and all of the stuff over here, like a base URL, and you can write your base URL over here like this, and you can just pass your base URL along with this, and you just have to pass the endpoint from this get method we are calling, and you are good to go. So lesser boilerplate code if you are just using a HTTP package. If you are using a chopper and uh, uh, do probably, so yeah, you don't need this kind of stuff. You can say that we are actually creating a wrapper of this page http.get, but but with a lesser boilerplate code to do afterwards. If you have if you want to call a lots of APIs. Now in this http method we want some one URL, okay, and then a map headers, like if you want to pass any kind of headers like as a auth token or any kind of stuff, so you can pass that thing. And over here I'll pass this URL and headers like this. Now if you know if you want to pass any kind of header from over here, like let me create a header for auth, okay, and let's name it a token, and it will have some token. Now add this auth header, like this map into our headers file. Sorry, in the our header map, add auth, and we are good to go. This token will be added in these headers, and it won't you don't have to write again and again this thing. You just need to call this getter, like if you want to pass extra headers, and then you can pass you call this method, and you can pass additional headers like data to the API, but the default data that is going to you are going to use in every API, you can use this kind of stuff. So we don't need a header as of now. So I'll just quickly remove it. I'm just going to return this thing from over here. Yeah, we don't need a base URL too as of now. I'm going to pass my URL only. Okay, so I used to do so. I have the repository that is on in the GitHub has all the code why I'm using this kind of uh, format. So you can check that out. Now, once again, I'm going to create one more class. You can say that API helper or a repository or whatever you would like to say, that will help me to get the data. Mm, so I'm going to create an API helper class. Okay. Now I'm going to create an instance of this HTTP client that I have created. HTTP client. Let's make it private. And yeah. Now I'm going to create one method, and it will return a future of dynamic. And let's name it a get articles. Okay, and in this method we are going to use client dot get. Okay, we will pass our URL over here that I have earlier shown you. So here is my URL. It get the articles from the marvel.fandom.com API. So it will get a list of articles, like it has a limit of 50. Now you can say like it's kind of a query parameter. So how you can actually pass a query parameter in the get method. So you can actually do kind of stuff right over here too if you want to pass any kind of query parameter. So you can create a even URI, not that movie, but that will have a scheme. Then okay, it's not that URI. What was that? I actually forgot it. Yeah, it will be a URL only. Yeah, sorry for the confusion. I don't know I actually forgot about it. Sorry for that. What was it? HTTP dot. No, it wasn't that. It was URL. Na? How can I forget that thing? Uh, I'm using it every day. Shit. Anyone from the chat knows it? Like it's URI or URI. It should be a URI. How can I forget it? Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Got it. URI.http. Yes. I need to use this thing. Now I'm going to create a simple URI over here. Okay. Now in this HTTP construct, like this method, it needs one string authority, then an unencoded path, then a query parameter, like how you want to pass it. Like over here, if you see this question mark and limit is equal to 500, it's our query parameter. Okay. So we should actually do it over here only, not over here, but instead over here. do so. Now it uses HTTPS, so we will use HTTPS, and this 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 marvel.fandom.com is our authority string. We will use that. Sorry, string over here. It's our authority, like it's a main base URL. You can say that. Okay. Now encoded path is this to the list. This is my encoded path, and now comes the query parameter. Like query parameter is named, or yeah, it's a optional but not named parameter, so we can just pass our map over here directly. So it will be a map of string and dynamic. So our string will be limit, and our like this actual value, dynamic value, will be an integer, and it will be 50. Am I doing something wrong? Okay. I don't know why I'm doing some wrong things right now in this live stream. I'm going to create a one variable called query param. I'm just going to pass this over here, and yep, we are good to go. What's this saying? You can't be assigned to the type. It is accepting the string sim. Okay, got it. Okay, so it should be a string too. Okay, now it should work. Now we need to pass this URI, our URI, over here. If you want to pass any kind of header, so you can pass it over here. Okay, and simply okay. So we will now get a response from as HTTP dot response as a type of HTTP dot response. Let's just make it what I'm forgetting to call an await method over here on a sync. So this is important if you don't want to miss your if you just don't want to jump over to the next thing before completing this get API call, and this will return HTTP. I'm not using as HTTP over here. This I know that I'm using HTTP. Okay, so we will get our response over here, and I'm just simply going to print the response over here, response dot body. Okay, we are not calling our API anywhere, so I will directly call this API in my home screen as of now. Okay, API helper and get articles. Let's see what happens. As we should not do this, believe me, but okay, we are not using HTML. I'm just going to rerun my application, and let's see if we are getting the response or not. Okay. What do you think? We will get a response or not? Hasman is saying I always use Google search to convert JSON to Dart role. Even I do so. Yay, we are getting a response. Yes, we are getting our response. Okay, you can see over here, we are getting our response. Let me show you how our URL will look like. Let me just print it out over here. Okay, URI dot path. It will be a path now, right? Yeah, it will be a path, and let's just do so. Mm, and here we go. Uh, the whole path. Yes. See, this is the API we are calling. We have actually divided it like this is my authority, like we are making an HTTPS call. If you want to make an HTTP call only, you can use this, and we are calling it right now HTTPS call. So, and then it's our authority, like it's a domain like marvel.fandom.com. So from this, you can say that a base URL probably, and over here we are passing our endpoint, like using this endpoint. This is the path actually, and from this path we will get our response. Okay, and this is a query param. So if as you have to change it, like in the next API call, like if you are using a pagination, and if you want to extra data in the next API call, when the we scroll up, so you want to you know uh, want to change this limit, or you want to pass, if you want to pass a page, and initially you need a one and then you need a two second page. So this is the way you should do. You have to pass your this limit like this thing, instead of the pass as a query parameter, and it will form the URL automatically. It will add the question mark over here. You can see automatically. You don't have to do any extra stuff over here. Okay, so this is the way you should actually call an API, and we are getting our response over here. Then now, as I told you, I already have a model over here that has been created by the QuickType.io Dart. I will share the link in the description or in the comment section. Uh, so if I forgot, please do ask me in the comment section, because I do forget a lot of things. Uh, so here is our model. Like it has a class called articles. It has a list of item called article item. Article item has ID, title, URL, NS. I don't know what is NS means actually. Okay. Then it's also returning a base path and offset 2 from the API response. That probably we don't want to tackle that thing as of now. We want to just focus on these things. Okay, like this ID, title, URL, NS, this stuff. NS, we probably not going to use NS. Let's see what NS actually is. What's NS? NS is like integer number probably. We don't know what it is. Okay, so we are going to use this model class directly over here. So how we are going to use it? We are going to write article dot. I'm doing something wrong. Let's import now, right? Yeah, articles. Sorry, articles. Let's import it. Then from JSON, I'm going to use, it requires this thing. I'm going to use response dot body. So we'll pass a response. As you can see, it is doing a JSON dot decode over here. Okay, so we just have to pass our response dot body over here. Now I'll just remove this print statement. We don't need it. Instead of passing a dynamic, we'll pass the articles itself over here. So and when we call an API, like we know what will be the type, so we can directly bind it with the UI. You don't have to cast it afterwards. I'm going to return this. Okay, and this is it. Using this, we can make an API call. We are not actually printing anything. Try to not use a print. Instead, you try to use log or debug print probably. And debug print also has one property, I forgot it. Yeah, wrap width. So you can have control the width of your content, like how much character you want to print. As the print already also has some limit. You can see like after this response at that at the at the at this point, my response is not getting printed over here because print has some limitations of printing characters on our consoles. Okay, now we are going to use our store to get these articles. Okay, now let's go to the store. Our article store is completely empty. If you want to create store, you can just write store over here. It's a live template I have created. I have also created a YouTube video for the same, how we can create it. So this is our store. We are going to create an observable, and let's name it let's use the observable list. Okay, don't use a normal list. MobX provide a observable list. You can directly use it, and uh, my autocomplete is not and it's not showing the hints. I'm not I can't do much without the hints. If Android Studio is not giving me hints, so I'm just completely doomed person. Okay, now we have created our observable list over here. Why we are going to use observable list? So if you want to uh, change the something in the inside the list, if you want to add and if you want to remove it from the list, and you also want to reflect it to you as soon as you do some kind of action in your UI side, so it will be done automatically. You don't have to do anything extra to do so. That's the beauty of MobX. We will talk about it later on in the like some other videos. I'm actually planning to create a video, not live stream, but video content having like it's kind of a series on MobX. So I'm trying to do so. I will try to publish it as soon as possible. It will be on in Hindi firstly, and then I'll probably move it to the English. So we got our articles observable. We will create a one action method. Let's name it a void. It will be a future void. Okay. Why future void? Because we are going to make it a sync method. Let's name it a fetch articles. Okay. Now over here, I'm also going to create one variable for API helper. API helper. Okay. I'm making it private as we don't want to use it outside of our file system. Now I'm making an API call over here, and it will give me articles. Sorry, I actually did one wrong thing over here. Probably we will use observable list later on, but let's use articles only as of now, as it's not a list. As I'm sorry for that. We will use it later on. I just realized our model articles is not a list. Inside these items are surely a list, but we will talk about observable list later on. Let me show you how you can actually make an API call using a MobX as of now. Now we need to add a sync over here. I'm going to take a help of our IDE. I hate writing code. I think I should probably do a shortcut related video too, that for the MacBook and Windows. How can you use it? Okay, so we will get our articles over here. We don't need this final. Okay, it will store our articles over here in this variable, and we can directly access it from in the UI side using this store. Okay, so we need to run our build runner to create the extra code over here. Like it has nothing except .toString method. If you have any kind of doubt, meanwhile, so you can ask me over here in live chat. You can ping me on Twitter. It's Bhavik Makwana. Not only Twitter, but it's Bhavik Makwana everywhere, and I'm actually not active on every social media platform. I just use it to post this stuff like I'm going live or not, kind of stuff. Besides that, I'm not active on social media. Besides of I do tweet a lot, but lesser active on the social medias. Okay, I'm just going to see this like our code has been created, and we can use this store right away. You can also use a watch uh, instead of build. So this command will run automatically whenever you do a change, any kind of change in your store. But again, we will surely talk about it in a later video. Okay, so we got our method. Now we actually want to call this method as soon as our this screen calls up. So we are going to create a constructor over here, and in this constructor I will call this as API and just make it a private. So like this, let me try running this command again, as if we don't want to miss out anything. Okay, and at the UI side, in the modules home screen, we don't need this API call over here. Okay, we are not going to write any kind of logic over here. We are going over here where I'm calling an API. See this, using the provider, I'm passing my article store over here, and in this home screen. Okay, and as soon as this stored instance has been created, my fetch article method will be called, and so it will automatically start calling the data. And yeah, that's it. Like you don't have to make an API call over here or using any kind of action. Now where am I? Yeah, so using a provider, I will get the store. I'm going to use provider, sorry, final article store is equal to provider dot. You can actually use. I don't know much about provider as I'm using it for the TI only, but I'm trying to. I'm also exploring river pod. I want to try it out. People are telling that it's really good, so I really want to try it out. What's your views on Riverpod? Like, are you using it? Have you ever actually tried MobX? HX? Do talk with me. Like, if you want, if you want to ask anything, please do ask. Okay. Now we got our articles over here. In the list view builder, we will pass item count using our article store, article store dot articles dot items dot length. Okay. Now over here we will pass articles dot items, our index dot title. Okay. Now if we do a refresh or like hot to load our application, sorry, hot to start, it will make an API call, but it will not build our UI. Why? Because I haven't used observer over here. So we need to use observer. It's a part of MobX. It takes one builder. As I told you, we are not using a observer over here. It will not refresh my UI, and it will say that items is null because the API call isn't made yet. So see, we got the data. Okay, I did got the data. Now if I make an API call, firstly we will get an error, then our UI will be refreshed. Yes, please, you can try the MobX. It's really good. Yeah, provider is also good, but MobX is by far amazing thing that happened to me while exploring Flutter. Okay, now to tackle this thing, we are going to wrap our widget with actually we are going to use a block body. Okay, and over here if we are going to use like if our items these articles, you can say if our articles are null equal to null, just return a circular progress indicator in a center obviously, else return just this list view. Okay, so we will do this kind of stuff, and let me hot to start my application. We don't need these imports as of now. Okay, see, there is a loader, then there is a data. You just don't have to do anything extra. Okay, instead of this we should actually create a base widget switcher that I used to create in my previous stream too. So I will quickly create a base widget switcher over here. Okay, that will have a network state. Okay, I'm going to create a constructor over here. I'm going and now from where I got this network state, I already had it in my utils class. It has a state called initial loading completed and error. Okay. Okay. Now using this state, we are going to identify which UI to show in to the user. Now over here we are going to use switch case. I'm just going to pass state over here and then adding a missing clause over here. Okay, we do need a different kind of a widget to show, like loading, for loading, then error, then success. For initial we will just pass in size box dot shrink. As of now, if you, it depends on your use case, how what you actually want when the API call actually made, or even before the API call is made. So it's depend upon you. Our default loading widget, we will pass our loading widget over here. Okay, our default loading widget will be a circular progress indicator in a child. So we'll just define it over here and we will make it a constant as this constructor is constant. Okay, then again we need an arrow widget. Okay, we will pass arrow widget over here, and also in a completer we will pass a success widget or a completion widget, like which widget to show. And yeah, and by default we, if nothing, if anything goes wrong, our UI should not suffer. So we will again pass size box the string. So we will we will not see any kind of error, but a plain page or plain UI instead. Okay. Now we are going to use this page widget switcher over here. Let me just duplicate it like this. And I'm going to pass network state dot completed. As of now, we will get it from the store. This network state from the store. This network state from the store later on. I'll show you how. In the success widget, we will pass this our list view. Actually, we should actually make this a separate widget. Success widget. It's a good habit to divide your code into different chunk of widget. We are going to use our article store over here. See what, I'm not passing anything using constructor. I'm using a provider to get my store, and that's it, nothing extra. Okay, and we don't need this builder. See, the the number of lines are, over here are decreased, so you can read the code very easily. When I refresh it, you can see our UI is not changed as we already have data. Okay, now we will get this network state from the server. Okay, sorry, from the store, not server. In this article store, we will create an observable network state. Okay, and default value will be loading. Okay, as so we don't have to define our over here, like the default, the value should be loading over here. As soon as our API call finishes up, we will change the network state dot to completed. Okay, so we got our completed state over here, and we are going to run our build runner command quickly. Meanwhile, I will use this network state inside my home screen over here. So we will use store. Okay, and when we rerun it, we have to rerun it completely. And here we go. Hope it works, hope it works, hope it works. I hope that you don't have any kind of question, or and if you think that I'm doing something wrong, please do let me know. If you have a better approach, if you want to share something, please do share. Okay, my store isn't created yet. Stuck on the zero. Now it's done. Let me just rerun my application once again. Sorry for the background noise. If you are getting, it's probably a dinner time after an hour. So see magic. got our data and our so, so this is the way you can actually call an API using MobX, and this is the way you should actually call an API. Please do check out my project, to get the real, exact code, that better code, you can say that. Now over here, we also now like how you should actually tackle down the error. Right now, I don't have any kind of error that I should actually throw, but instead of this, I'll just throw internet connection is not there kind of error. If we just shut down, sorry, stop this internet, like it should show and message over here. So let's see firstly what will happen if we don't have internet as of now, and we start our app. Let's see what will happen. So after some amount of time, our API call will break because of timeout. Until that time, our loader will be keep loading, and see over here we got an socket exception already. So this is the exception you will get when you call when you don't have an internet connection, or low internet connection, or no network. Okay. So using this socket connection exception, you can identify, oh yeah, you don't have internet. Okay. So let's go back to the networking layer over here. Okay. And over here in this method, I did we should do it over here, or yeah, over here, yeah, in API helper. This our API call will go in the try catch block. Okay, the ultimate savior, you can say that. Okay, now we will throw an exception. Sorry, sorry. We will throw an exception from over here, this point. Okay, now instead of throwing this exception that comes from the Dart.code, like from the engine, that from the code library, from the Dart code library, we are going to actually create a custom exception class. Let's make it a class. So beauty of Dart is everything is an object, so you can actually throw anything, literally anything you want to throw as an error, like a string, or any kind of stuff. So you can actually throw, as in the Dart, everything is an object. So we are going to create a custom exception class. You can say that it's a kind of a model class. Okay, string message. Okay, I'm going to create a constructor. I'm also going to use override toString method, and I'm just going to print message over here. Going to use a expression body instead, because we don't, it's a void now, so we don't actually want to return anything. What I'm doing, yeah, actually we should have to return this thing. I'm sorry, this is not printed. Let's convert it. Yeah, Yeah, that's it. So we will return this some error occurred with our message over here. So this is our custom exception. We will pass our exception over here. We will write a message says network is not available. Okay, every time I do a typo, and the store is always there to save me, so you can actually use this kind of stuff. So you always try to utilize your IDE. Now over here, we are going to actually use we are going to actually track down if we are getting a socket exception or not. So we will seek for a socket exception. So we will check if it is a socket exception, throw this error. Okay. So suppose if you have a what what was the another exception? Suppose like a format exception. If you are not passing a proper format, so you can pass custom exception bad formatting. Yeah, try again, please. Okay, so this is how we actually throw an exception while making an API call. Now we are going to catch this exception in our store, this article store. So while making an API call over here, we again wrap our this API call in a titles block. Okay, we will use catch. What was it? I again forgot the syntax. Ah, yeah, custom exception. Sorry. I hope I'm not the only person who does this kind of stuff. What was that? Catch custom exception. It should be like it should be. Let's use E as of now. Okay, when we can actually check out if this is the exception we want or not. So like this final our exception E as custom exception. So it will cast this E as a custom exception, and you can print it out over here. Okay, we are going to run our build runner once again. And this is the only headache we have to carry on while using a MobX, but it's completely fine. As soon as my code is, I don't have to write a lot of code, and it's kind of feel amazing how the MobX actually refresh my UI without actually uh, explicit wiring, I should say. So I'm running a command over here. I hope you are liking it, this kind of streams. Anyway, I'm going to do so. But yeah, I hope you are liking it. If you want any kind of other kind of content, like specifically if you want any kind of content in Flutter, you can tell me. If you want any kind of Flutter related to any other technology, we can learn it together. Probably, we are here to learn only. Yeah, so our class, this build runner is completed. We are going to run our application once again. Let's see we are getting our custom exception or not. Let's see what will happen. It will throw an error and we will see a message that we passed. Okay. Hey, some error occurred. Network is not available. That is the thing we actually fail and try again. Yeah, that's that I actually use a slash n. That's that I shouldn't use actually. Instead, I actually use a message directly. Let's see. Let's see what will happen. And we should get an message calling network is not available. Try again. Thank you so much. I will. Now we will use this network state over here. Okay, we will tell our network state that it's an error. Okay, it's an error, and you should show the error in your UI. So using this state, we will identify, hey, yeah, there is a one error, and we should show it. Okay, we will also create a one observable a variable over here. That's a string that will have a error message. Okay, and we can actually use a observable future too over here instead of this feature. Like, so I will again explain it in a later video. MobX is a really broad concept. We can cover. I'm trying to cover it for sure. Now I will initialize this error message with exception dot message I'm getting over here. Okay. So when this change state will be changed, our let me change this state after this message is assigned. So we don't want to kind of messed up things. So as soon as our network state going to change, okay. So anyway, action will do its stuff. Again, I'm going for a MobX, but yeah, later on. So as soon as we got an error and the state will change, the UI will be refreshed and we will get some data. So we will create a one error widget. It will be a separate class, stateless error widget. Okay, and over here we will create a text in a center, probably. Yes, in a center for sure. We will again use article store directly over here. See, I'm not passing anything extra or like in a constructor. Then in the article store dot error message over here, we'll check for a null. If it's not null, let's use this. Okay, and we will use error widget over here. Yeah, we are already using it. I'm just going to refresh my application, restart my application, and let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen. See, we got an error, network is not available. So yeah, so this is the way you should actually handle your error case while making an API call. Okay, so what I'm doing over here, I'm going to repeat the thing that I have done. Okay, inside my API layer class, API helper class. Okay, you can modify it according to your need. You can actually use standard that you should actually use while creating a like writing a code, and you can do your stuff. But this is the basic idea you should follow. That will help you to fetch and fetch the data from the internet. Meanwhile, also help you to get some will help you to handle your error cases. So if you want to manage all other exceptions, so you can actually just use exception. Exception is a base class, so you can just directly pass something like this. Hey, something went wrong, and we are good to go. You can actually according to your status code, you can actually uh, as your HTTP status code, you can actually pass your errors to something like. Let me try it right now. Mm, so we will, create a handle response over here. Okay, a method. We will pass our response over here. Okay, and now, okay, it will return. Let me just create this method. Sorry, we will use http dot response, and we will also return the http dot response as a first case. But yeah, I know I already defined that variable. Okay, now over here, like, we will search for, like, if the if response dot status code is equal to 200, that is okay, we will directly return our response. Okay, as you can go for different kind of status codes. Let me just show it over here. We will create some. We will also use one status code field, string status code. We will make it optional. We will also use this status code over here, status code. Okay, and we are good to go. Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll make it optional, and we will use a custom exception. We will just throw it. We will directly throw the custom exception from over here, and like this. Again, something went wrong. Actually, we should not use string over here. Sorry for that. We should use integer instead. Let it be null. And over here, we will use a response dot status code. So at that side, at the time of, if we are getting any kind of HTTP error, unless this network error or socket exception or format exception, if you are getting any kind of error while after even creating calling an API successfully, if you are getting any kind of error like 400 or any kind of stuff, you will know at the side of UI, hey, something went wrong. This is the status code, and you can check it out. You can actually pass your, if you are getting any kind of error response from your API, from your backend developer, so you can utilize over here too. So you can pass your message over here too. You can actually create a based response to, if the response for the older API is same, there's the data is going to change, like the data part. So you can kind of create a based response and kind of stuff, and you can utilize that thing too. We can cover it in the later on in the next video probably, or in some other video probably. So this is the way you should handle for different kind of status code cases. Try to use specific error code instead, if you want to manage for different cases explicitly. uh, either way you are good to go. Okay, so this is the way you should actually create an API. Sorry, this is the way actually you should make an API call. This is the way I think you should handle the errors. This code can be optimized for sure, but this is just a demo. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you like this video. If you liked it, please do subscribe to this channel, like and share this video. Probably, if you really like this video, if you really like this content, then only like the video. Else, there is no force from my end. You can watch it without even liking it, but it will surely motivate me. Yeah, to do more stuff like this. So I hope you don't have any kind of questions. If you have, please do ask me over here. If you don't want to ask it over here in live chat, so you can surely contact me on Twitter. I'm most active on the Twitter. I don't use Facebook, Instagram, or and any other social media sites much more. But I'm 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 more active on the Twitter. Thank you so much, Mikhail. Mikhail, thank you so much. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for all things like yeah. So yeah, I'm going to end this thing. Thank you so much once again.